Okay, so here's the review. Obviously, everyone, it's old news now, and I was sort of in two minds as to whether to do this review because it's all been done and dusted now on the forums and even on YouTube as well. But I thought I'd give you my thoughts, and I think to start with, we'll go with some of the issues I've got with this, and the first being is the paint. I think it's so important really to get the consistency of the gloss finish on some of these products, and on most of the items I've got already, you know, it's turned out well, and I'm happy with the finish. This, for me, the paintwork on the Predalien looks all too dry. It's just not got enough gloss in my opinion. I think some of the moulding in some of the back areas, in some of the crooks and crannies, is a little bit untidy. That's not really a big issue, I suppose, because unless you actually go in and look for those, you're not going to see them. And the other thing that I wanted to point out as well is, obviously this doesn't come like this as one whole big sculpt. There are certain areas that have to be glued on afterwards from the manufacturing stage, and one of them is obviously this mouth or side of the mouth section that's obviously glued into place, and then it's blended back with some sandpaper. My issue, and I've noticed this on previous Sideshow pieces, is that the blending, the sanding is a little bit coarse. They could have used a smoother sandpaper. You can, I don't know whether you'll be able to pick this up, but you can see lines, lots and lots of lines off the sandpaper where it's been quickly rubbed over, and in my opinion they haven't really taken enough care and time in doing that. From the front, see if I can bring it this way without actually dropping it on my head. Then the other thing as well that I wasn't really happy with, but I kind of knew already because I'd seen the photos on the Sideshow website, it's the teeth. It's a really flat, cheap looking paint. You know, it's the kind of paint you could go into any local store and pick up a tin of silver paint and just spray it on yourself. And again, it's just too flat. There's just not enough gloss there. If anyone has seen the Warrior Alien up close, and I've seen one of those in person, I'll tell you that the teeth are excellent, and they almost have like a chrome effect on it, but these don't. Again, the paint is very flat, not enough shine in there, in my opinion. With the inside of the mouth, people are saying, well, it's better than the Warrior. I would say it's actually about the same, because there's not much in the mouth really. It's just a combination of dark greys, silvers and blacks, and you know, it's neat enough. It doesn't blow your mind. It's fairly ordinary, the paint is. The middle mouth that you've got is just painted grey with some black to give it some texture, and then the teeth on there again just look really clumsy. I mean, I'm quite surprised about those. They look quite tatty in places, in my opinion, and again they have the same horrible silver paint. So all in all, it's disappointing, and that's the end of the review. Well, you see, this is the thing. What it is you're not going to view this thing up close like this, because this is a one-to-one Predalien we're talking about here. It's not a quarter scale or a legendary scale or whatever. This is a one-to-one, and to try and view this up at this level, it's hopeless. You can't even make any sense of the thing at this level. So the way that you need to view this is to step back, and this is where it comes into its own. Let me show you. Now, I think the Predalien, it looks at its best when you just see it just a little bit further back, and you get the whole picture of what it's all about. Just a quick view over the top, starting from the back, and then you've got these kind of, whatever they are, egg sacs or bladders on either side of the head. And then viewing from underneath, you've got all that detail in the neck, which I am really impressed with, to be honest with you. I didn't really have to do all this because it's difficult to see, but when you look, it looks they've really got the feel of the hanging skin and the textures on there. And likewise, the same effort has been taken underneath, and like I say, you just don't see this at all. But they've gone to the trouble of doing all this, putting this extra detail on and paint textures in there as well. I just wanted to show you this side just to give you a better view of those sort of membrane things that you've got. As you can see, there's that translucent effect on the side of the head as well. And just to have a better look at the top of the head, you can just see the eye sockets just down there, and then on the top they've added a bit of paint on there. It's very obvious that this is it's been done with a stencil. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's obviously it's just too neat, if you know what I mean. It's too symmetrical as well, if anything. So, well, Sideshow could have played it safe with this piece and gone with perhaps a half-scale version, maybe kept the dreads in tight to the head, so you could have done the dreads as part of the complete head sculpt, and maybe even gone with a simpler design on the mouth, and even the dome. They could have done the dome perhaps just in silver and kept it simple, but they didn't, to be fair. They went completely all out on this piece, and they've made it, if anything, extremely difficult for themselves. They've done it where the Predalien is in sort of a half spin and the hair is sort of sticking up all over the place. They've gone with a really open and wide mouth, even so big that, as you can see, my head can virtually fit inside the mouth. And then the icing on the cake was that the fact that they've given this beautiful acrylic dome on the top, where you can see straight through at the skull beneath. So yeah, I can see why people are saying that it's the best bust from Sideshow to date. I think probably it's the best bust for different reasons as compared to, let's say, the Predator 1 bust and the Alien Warrior bust, because personally I think that they have much better quality and finish, and the attention to detail with the drool and the consistency of the paint is a lot better on those. But for a sheer wow factor and something that looks so crazy like the Predalien does, it really is an accomplishment. And for those reasons, I think it will go down as one of Sideshow's best busts so far. But you make up your own mind. You've seen the review. It has got some issues, but I'm pretty sure that anyone who visits me and comes into this room, the first thing that they'll be drawn to is the Predalien, and everything else is going to come second, because it really is that good. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks.